sacrifice 10, so we both make 40. I don't really want to do that. But
Right. Yeah.
that whole community aspect, it'll be a no-brainer.
Yeah. So how has it been like also running a business
Mm-hmm.
like behind Couple Up? Is this like the first business you've tried or it is? Okay, cool.
Very first one. Again, I had no plan on being a business owner about anything. I was gonna work in the library forever, retire, all that good stuff. So it's been very difficult. I think it's been a lot easier because I've gotten control of my emotions. And that's one thing in business, you can't move off emotion. You have to move off of logic. So I know the hardest thing was when I wasn't getting sales as frequently as I thought it should, I would get so down. I act like a little crybaby. Like I call my girlfriend, I tell my mom, ain't nobody buying, what's going on? The games are good. But it's like what I learned, I think is the most important lesson, you can't control who buys your product or when they buy it. You can only control the amount of effort that you put in to get them to buy it. So once I understood that, I was like, well, the amount of games I sell is literally all on me. It's not like, I forget what movie it was, but he said, create it or bring it out and they will come. That's not how business works. Just because you
You
put it,
build it, they will
you
come.
build it, they will come. No, they will not. They will sit there and look at it like, what's that? Why do I need it? Who are you? What do you have? Why should I buy it? Something my coach always says. And I just firmly believe that. And I think that's the number one lesson that business owners have to understand first before you even start pushing out your product or service.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. I think I was thinking about this yesterday and like I feel like okay, how do you feel about side hustles in general?
Love them.
Like you said, like you felt like you weren't thinking that you would have a side hustle or were you always thinking that you would have something on the side?
And until Couple Up came out, I was like, yeah, this be a nice little cool thing. But before that, literally, it was just like job for the next 40 years, retire. I was, like I said, my mind was open in 20, I would say like later, really 2017, even though the game, I started that into 2018, into 2019. Um, yeah, I believe everybody should have a side hustle. Like, if you didn't think that side hustle were necessary, look at March until now, or even it's going to happen in 2021 still. But if that didn't scare you, then I don't know what will. Like, I know my job may say I'm essential. I'm a librarian. The world don't. I am not essential to the economy. Like, I can get cut at any point in time, and I understand that. And knowing that, I had to prepare myself in case something like that does happen, because I still have bills to pay. Lucky I ain't got no kids. That'd be a whole different situation. But I still had to take care of myself. And
Yeah.
so I think that those say I don't need a side hustle. I don't look. COVID clearly shows you that your job is not secure. So I don't know what else is going to take for you to be like, you know what, let me put my talent to good use. But that brings up another question: is why are people afraid to use their talents for money? Every other business does it. McDonald's makes a terrible burger, but they give the product that people buy. Why are we
Mhm.
so afraid to offer our service and say, well, I charge X, Y, and Z for it? It's like no one else questions these prices. Like, put your price out. If they question it, they question it. On to the next one. Someone's gonna pay you. I always say that. Someone's gonna pay your price.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so I'm in the middle on like this whole side hustles and
I'm gonna bring you
everything
over.
discussion.
Bring
But
you.
the reason why is because, Clubhouse, the new app that everybody's, yeah. So I'm on Clubhouse and I'm like in this room and I'm like, oh, this is really interesting. And it's like about like promoting your brand and how to get sponsorship. And then I'm in there and I'm realizing like there's like 20 people on the stage, 500, 700 people in the audience. These are going on all day, every day, because in like for hours, like they were like, oh, we've been in here since 2 p.m. I was driving home and I think it was like 9. And I'm like, okay. So it just got very overwhelming, like the amount of people that are trying to market themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And really like, I guess, I don't know. For me, it's like people are like creating things and yeah, if you're going to use somebody's product, I guess you should get paid for it. But like, when does the payment stop? Like, when do we just create things for the purpose of creating them, which is what I believe art is. Like, that's my definition of art. So it's like, if we're always creating things only when we're getting paid or, like, so it's like, but it's also like, when do we rest? When do we stop promoting? Like, when do we have our downtime? If we have our 9 to 5 and then we're working 5 to 9,
Mm-hmm.
like on the other side, when do we just relax and enjoy life?
Gotcha.
So I don't know. I'm like in the middle on like this whole, obviously I have a podcast. So
Mhm. But the podcast leads to something again.
yeah.
what I've noticed how most of the coaches, the people that make those courses, they make their money off the courses. So obviously they record something one time, put it out, it just keeps selling. And eventually, when it comes to a certain point, they don't have to do that all the time. Then they can just give you free gems. I've gotten a lot of free, great business gems from free Instagram lives. They don't charge me for it. But certain information, and I don't say certain information, more so the connections, I think, is what you're really paying for. So even like my coach, a lot of the stuff he says, it's like really common sense, but we just overthink stuff so much, and they can put you in places that you probably can't get to by yourself. So that's personally what I think when it comes to those coaches and all that stuff. But I definitely think it's important to put out free content because everyone can't afford everything, So that's the creating art just for art's sake. By the end of the day, you still have to get paid. Like, we're in a capitalist economy, so I don't knock anyone that charges anything, but I do appreciate when they do give out free content for those that maybe can't afford their services, which everyone does. Like, the information is out there to start a business. There's really no reason why, I don't say no reason to not have a coach, but there's really no reason to not start. Like, all the information is there. Like, again, the who are you, what do you have, why should I care? Those three things, that kind of laid the foundation for my business. Like, once you get that, you know how to promote it. You know who you need to talk to because you know what you have and you know what it does. And you just kind of keep going. One lady told me, she said, you'll win if you don't quit. She said, in life, relationships, business, personal, whatever. But once you quit, though, that's when you officially lost. Like, again, I forget another, like, why would I go through hell just to stop in the middle? Keep going through it. Like, you're eventually going to get to the end if you don't stop. And surround yourself with the right people. Another thing the game tells you, like, you got to look at your circle of friends. Are they really friends? Like, what is your definition of a friend? What are your obligations of them? What do you expect from them? So things like that, though.
Have you had issues with having a business and having like certain friends support you and certain friends you feel like maybe aren't supportive enough?
Nope. And
That's good.
we hear that question literally all the time. I can't think of one person that I consider a friend that has not supported in some shape, form, or fashion, whether it be actually paying for the game or just promoting it. Because promotion is free, y'all. Like, I love that. You feel me? You can't buy it, just share it. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Like, that stuff is great. But I also, and I was telling my girlfriend this, I didn't expect, most of my friends bought the game. I really just expected most of them to share it. So I was very thrown off by that. I thought they was going to ask for the game for the free. But I was so impressed that they thought enough about it to actually physically buy the game. And I feel bad for those whose friends don't support. But then I say, well, is that really your friend? Again, they don't have to buy. Because, no, I get it. You don't want to change currency, cool. But we'll share a story. We will share Beyonce's next child being born on our story before we post our friend's thing. And that's another thing, like human behavior. Why is that? Because we know Beyonce's child's going to get more clicks? Or, like, why are we so afraid to support our friend's business? Like, it just baffles me. I will never understand it because I've never not supported it. I'm also not pressed to post any kind of clickbait stuff or anything like that. So I haven't had support. I mean, I haven't had an issue with having support from friends.
That's really good.
Thus far, now.
Yeah, I feel like you also have to like communicate with your friends about what you expect from them too. Like, you can ask them, "Hey, have you checked out this?" Or did you see my post on this? Like, direct their attention to it too if necessary.
Because sometimes some friends may not understand. They be like, "Oh, I mean, yeah, I see a bit. Yeah, that's what's up." But they may never do anything. I'm like, "Hey, bro, do you mind sharing this?" Cool, no problem. That just may not be something they thought that you wanted to do. So there's nothing wrong with asking. Like, ask your friends. But some people be so timid, like, I want to ask them, then they may get mad and blah, blah. If there was a friend, like I said, all my friends did support. I really didn't have to ask anybody. But let's assume they didn't. I'm pulling up. I'm calling. Hey, Brian, what's going on, bro? Yeah, you want to see that post? Yeah, bro, you mind commenting? Appreciate it. All right, much love. And that's that. If we are friends, we should be able to have that conversation. But what's your definition of a friend? So that's what.
Yeah, I feel like that is like the most debated word of like the past maybe 5 years. I don't know, since maybe like high school started. I don't know.
I know my brother told me personally, he was like, everyone in school is not your friend, bro. He said, you'll find that out once you graduate high school and you go your separate ways. He said, then you'll see like who sticks around and all that. And I definitely did see a lot just fell off. I thought we were cooler than what we are, but it's like, nah, bro, you was cool for high school. I'm like, okay, I thought we were close, but it's all good though. Like I understand life happens, whatever, you know.
Yeah. And
That's
you
just
never know, like sometimes you separate and then you come back together, but I don't
yeah.
know, sometimes you do just outgrow each other.
You live this algorithm, and that is perfectly fine. Again, I had to learn to accept that. That's perfect. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It don't mean they're a bad person. Our worlds are just now separate. That's literally it. Much love. Wish you nothing but the best. Nothing wrong with it though.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I'm trying to think about any other questions I had.
Well, I had one for you.
Okay.
What? So you say if you can redo everything again, you would go to a community college, right?
Yeah.
So what would you do? Like, what would you get some kind of trade, or what would you do at that community college that you didn't do in your other college?
I feel like I would have been able to explore more classes instead of settling down on I majored in psychology and economics, but instead of just like settling down on psychology, as much as I do enjoy studying it, I don't feel like, I mean, like I'm not using it, you know, so obviously it's not